Today's video is going to be a Q&A while doing a first impression on Makeup Revolution's Grinch collection. My hypothyroidism journey, and I wanted to kind of share that a little bit with you guys since I did the get to know me tag already. And one of the primary reasons why I became so social and why I became such an advocate for mental health and basically for motherhood stems from me getting diagnosed with hypothyroidism at a really young age and having to be my own personal advocate. So I figured I would sit down and talk to you guys about my diagnosis and where I'm at today and where I was a few years back. So let's get into the video. Just got done filming a haul, so I want to say I'm going to put up the haul first on my channel and then I'm going to put up this video, so don't mind me wearing the same clothes. I want to let you guys know I do have a full face on. I am actually going out of my comfort zone by doing my makeup and my foundation and everything, and then applying my eyeshadows because I typically do not do this. I actually do my eyebrows first, then I do my eyeshadow, then I do my foundation. It's a little scary to me, so I am gonna try. Hopefully it doesn't have a lot of fallout. So this is what the inside of the palette looks like. It's so beautiful. So the first question, when did I find out that I had hypothyroidism? I found out I had hypothyroidism when I was only 19 years old. I actually got diagnosed when I was 19. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Naughty List first. I feel like that's the best transition shade that I can use. What I'm trying to do is basically use this particular palette only to create my look. I don't want to mix anything else because again, this is the first time I ever used Makeup Revolution. So I'm gonna go in with Naughty List first as a transition shade, even though it's a little bit of a shimmer shade. So I'm gonna try to do that and see how it works. Okay, it's slightly showing up. I don't know if you guys can tell or not. Slightly showing up, but again, this is like a semi shimmer shade, so it's not really a matte shade. And I do know that some people don't like taking a shimmer shade as a transition shade. I honestly actually been into those looks lately. I've been into a little bit of a shimmer thing going on. I kind of like all shimmer shades on the eyelid. I think it goes great for a wet eyeshadow look, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not really truly against it, and honestly right now, even blending it barely, I mean, it's showing up. Definitely, I think you guys can see a little bit of a difference, but again, I have all these lights. It's not bad. It almost looks pretty as if it were to be like a highlight. I wonder if people can use this as a highlight. It almost reminds me of a highlight. But anyways, it's going to be my transition shade. So far so good. I don't really have to pick, I mean, I kind of had to pick up a little bit of product, but at the end of the day, again, it's a shimmer shade. It's not really a matte shade. So let's see if I pack it on. I'm not seeing a lot of fallout, which is great. Okay, now that I packed it on.
Oh my gosh, showing up. It's showing up. Okay. Well, now that I packed it on, it looks much better.
But I ended up going to a place called Any Lab Test Now. And basically, it's like any lab test whenever you want it. You go in there, you kind of pick from different packages. And they have different stuff ranging from a full like CBC and like a workup, like a urinalysis and your T4 and your thyroid function. And then they have other stuff like if you just want to check like your A1C or your glucose levels, blah, blah, blah. They have different packages. So I went there because I felt something wrong with me. And I was like, something's off. I think I'm gonna go with the Nazanin Cavari brush and I'm gonna go into Mean Machine.
Okay, first off, it's not coming off. Oh no.
Okay, it's barely picking up product, but I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna spray it with my Milani Make It Last Dewy Spray. But I know sometimes it's hard to pick up a shade because, I don't know. I know sometimes you have to dig into the pan because there's like a coat on it, you know?
Will this be a flop? I don't know, it's not picking up. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of fallout. That's not good. Why? Maybe I have to go in with my finger? Oh no. I'm seeing the color. You see the color? With a lot of fallout. This is why I don't do this stuff. Oh my god, no. I'm spreading it to my cheek. Y'all see me looking extra sparkly right there. It's because the shade got on there. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my finger. Okay, it sticks better to my finger.
Okay. I don't know what was wrong with that. Nazanin, what the heck? Dude, that scared me a little bit. But I do feel like there's more fallout. It's because I wanted to make this video quick and easy, okay? I was trying to film again. I told myself I wasn't gonna film 2 videos in one day. Here I am doing it again. That's what I get for literally freaking rushing this stuff. Now it looks stunning. I don't know what the heck that was. I'm gonna have to look up other people's experience with this palette, dude.
Okay, beautiful. That looks beautiful.
Hey, I'm not afraid anymore.
Okay, so yes, I went to any lab test now. I paid like $250 almost for that result myself. Had a job and everything, but I literally didn't have insurance at the time. And there was no way for me to get insurance. I have DACA. I can only be eligible for insurance through an employer, but I wasn't eligible for that, and I didn't have an employer that offered health insurance. So yeah, I went in there. I'm like, there has to be something definitely wrong. I get my lab results back. They're not allowed to tell you exactly what you have. They say that basically they give you these results. They did find some abnormalities, but that you have to schedule an appointment with the provider for them to read it and be able to tell you what's going on and be able to start you on any type of medication, which I was a little frustrated at that, but that was because I was young. I didn't know really what I was getting myself into. I thought they were going to tell me exactly what I had and what I had to do. So that was just my poor thinking at the age. So then it turns out I went to the doctor, and I looked it up before going to the doctor, and it brought me so much peace to know that I was able to find out that there was indeed something wrong with me and that it wasn't just me going crazy. So that helped a ton with my mental health, because I knew there was something off about me and I didn't know what it was. So to answer another question that people ask me, well, how did you know that you had hypothyroidism? What were your signs? So now I'm gonna go in with Maxie, and the first telltale sign that I knew something was up was the fact that, ooh, cute. The first sign was the fact that I was having so much fluctuation in my mood. I was having really low lows. I was either kind of angry and everything would agitate the crap out of me. And my poor boyfriend at the time, which is my husband now, he had to deal with that. Like, I straight up told him one day, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry that I'm being so short. I feel like I'm losing my mind. And that is beautiful. Look at that. And he basically was like, hey, like, you know, maybe there is something wrong with you. I was either irritable or I was really depressed, like crying my eyeballs out, and like nothing worked, nothing helped. I just felt like I was slowly fading away. Like, even talking about it makes me so upset. Now I'm gonna go in again and kind of like, I wanted to go in with the other shade and kind of just buff it out, but I think I made a mistake because it's not looking that great. So let me go in again with the darker shade and go over that. I was trying to fade it out, but because the other one is a shimmer shade, the transition shade was a shimmer shade, it kind of looks weird when I put it again on top of it. Buff it out, you know what I'm saying? I may have messed this one up because of that. But I felt horrible. I felt so bad. I felt like I was slowly slipping away in my depression, and I felt like I wasn't gonna make it. Honestly, it came down to the fact that I was trying to give up on life, and it was terrible. I began having these symptoms. My arms, when I would shower and wash my hair, it would hurt to almost bring my arms up to my head and do a ponytail and wash, like shampoo my head. My arms felt really weak, like if I had lifted like weights, they just did not feel strong at all. And I knew that they felt tingly too, and it was both of them. So it wasn't like it was just my right arm, hint of a heart attack, blah blah blah. No, it was both arms, and they felt really weird. Moving along, I think I like this eye. Back into naughty list to do the other eye. I have to hurry because I have to work this afternoon. and my husband's coming home from work soon. I had a really long day, but I had an enjoyable day. I hung out with my friend. She has her son that's about to turn 1, and he's the sweetest, cutest little boy ever. And I missed her. Like, I feel like I haven't had a mom's day out. We went out for my husband's birthday and it was extremely fun. We had a really great time. We had some good drinks. We played VR. It was amazing. But for as far as a mommy's day, I haven't had that in a hot minute, and just get to talk with another mom and kind of, you know, basically talk about our kids and motherhood, because I was just telling her, like, motherhood can be very lonely. You don't have other mothers around you. It is very extremely lonely, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom. But just wanted to let you guys know that. Backtracking back to what I was saying about my arms, so that was just a telltale sign, like something was freaking weird. And then my joints hurt a lot. They would almost burn, like arthritis burn. And to this day, they kind of do. And even while I'm on medication, they still do. Eyeshadow primer to help with this situation. I think it would stick way better if I had an eyeshadow primer. I think that's what I'm missing, and I don't have one in my collection, unfortunately. So I can't really blame this product. Maybe it's just me, because the color in itself is beautiful, it's stunning, but I don't, this brush ain't doing it. I wouldn't skip over this palette. Again, $12 for this palette. You get 9 shades in this palette. I don't think that's a bad price, honestly. So you get color payoff. The color payoff is there. Again, I'm gonna continue to use this and see how the other shades work. My mom had a really hard time accepting the fact that I had something wrong with me. My family is really like, they don't go to the doctor, okay? I come from a Hispanic home and they're like, well, nothing's wrong with you. Kind of a little gaslighted, you know, nothing's wrong with you, it's just you. Like, I'm sure that it's because, for me, I was down to 88 pounds, y'all. 88 pounds. That's not healthy. Now, I'm a thin person. Like, when I was in high school, I was like 100 pounds. A lot of people would tell me, well, it's because you must not be eating. You're so skinny, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, it's just you're feeling that way because of something else. Like, it's not that there's something wrong with you. And that doctors just want to make money off of you, and they benefit from telling you that there's something wrong with you. Like, I don't suggest you going to a doctor and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, no, turns out I had something. The person that took me over there to any lab test now was my mom, because one day she came home and I was just crying. I couldn't stop crying. Like, I sometimes think, would I even be here if it wasn't that I got diagnosed? Like, if I would have allowed people to tell me there was nothing wrong with me, you know how many things I would have already done to myself? Like, I was in a really dark place, and I know everyone says that on social media, but no, seriously, guys, this is not a joke. Like, this is not funny. This is not me trying to do clickbait. Like, it was horrible. And I remember telling my mom, like, I can't do this crap anymore. And my mom was trying to do everything she could to cheer me up that day. I feel like crying just about it, just talking about it. But she really tried to do everything she could that day, because I was laying in bed and I told my mom, I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. And she was like, what do you mean? She started crying because she got so scared. She was like, there's something definitely wrong with you. Let's go. And so we went. So to see that on a piece of paper reassured me that I wasn't going crazy. And because mental illness runs in my mom's family, I thought, because one of my aunts is actually schizophrenic. And I was so scared at the time, thinking, oh my God, I might be getting schizophrenia, because apparently schizophrenia can present itself later in life. And I thought I was going crazy. I thought I had bipolar issues, but seeing that on a piece of paper reassured me that it's none of that, and that in fact it was my thyroid. There was also no history of hypothyroidism in my family. I'm going in with my Sophia and Mabel, Sophia Mabel Juice Bar Lip Oil. The doctor was able to tell me and explain to me, like, hey, this is what's going on with you. This is why you have the symptoms that you have, and this is how we're going to treat it. We're going to start you on medication. And in fact, when I started medication, it took a while for me to actually feel better. Like, I think I was on the medication. I think they put you on it for 3 months, and then you go in for a recheck of your levels, and you go back in and every 6 months. Rechecked myself in 3 months, and it turned out that my levels were great. However, I personally wasn't feeling better. I still had the tingling in my arms and I still had issues with my joints. I think my mood got better, but I was still having issues. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know, like I felt weird. So again, the original doctor that I went to, you know, it was just a small little doctor place, no offense to them. I asked her, you know, can I increase my dose? Because I started reading, informing myself right then and there, like, this is going to be the rest of my life. Like, this is either now or never. I was like, the fact that I had to advocate for myself against, you know, my family's beliefs and against just not gaslighting myself, thinking that this was something else. I was like, I have to start doing this for myself. So I did. So I researched, you can up your medication. After that, I actually got a new job that offered health insurance. So I got health insurance. I think by then I was either 20, 21, and I went to an actual doctor. The first doctor that I went to, I didn't really like her. Endocrinologist, I felt like she wasn't listening to me. Like, hey, I'm still having issues. And I think she was the one that referred me to like a arthritis doctor. I forgot what they're called. I'll pop up the name. And she referred me there, and because I was telling her like, hey, my joints hurt, like I still don't feel 100%. So she referred me there. I ended up going, they tested me for like all different types of arthritis problems. I can't think of them from the top of my head. I'm trying to finish this video as quick as possible. And yeah, so that led me nowhere. I didn't have any of those signs of an arthritis problem. So basically it was just what I was feeling, which made me feel a little disappointed too, because I was like, oh my gosh, like why does my knee hurt? Why? Literally until this day, sometimes I get pains, especially during rainy days, a day after the rainy days, and also after winter days. Like if I stay outside when it's really cold and I come back in, temperature change makes my joints hurt. So I tried explaining that to them, but you know, that was just me feeling it. They couldn't see that pain. They couldn't see anything come back positive. So I dealt with that until I finally got to a point where I was like, you know what? F it. I said, forget it. I'm going to ask for an increase on my dosage. And I eventually did. I didn't go back to that endocrinologist because I just felt like it was just bogus. I wasn't going to spend money going to a specialist. I said, let me just go to a PCP and get my dose increased. So I did. We increased my dose. I started feeling a little bit better. My arms weren't tingling anymore. I didn't feel as tired. My joints weren't hurting as much. They still were hurting a little bit. But I learned that, you know what, with the joint issue, there's really nothing I can do. It could just be inflammation. This is just going to have to be something that I have to deal with occasionally. So I gave that up for a little bit. I think before getting pregnant, I had asked for maybe 2 dose increases because I was like, I'm gonna just test my limit. And I remember the doctor that I love so dearly, that he's no longer working because he left out of the country. I loved him to pieces. That was the only PCP ever in my entire life to finally put an end to my genetic disorder, to finally put an end to my thyroid disorder. It was just amazing. Like, that man could sit there and listen to you say every single thing before he judged you. Never told me no. He always explained everything to me. He said, we can try X, Y, and Z. Or he would suggest, okay, well, I know that you think that you might have this, but let's test for this because it can have similar symptoms, etc., etc. And if he didn't know something, he will literally be like, I'm gonna refer you out. For some people, they don't like a referral, but with this particular doctor, I trusted him so much. And every single time he referred, it wasn't a disappointment. By the time I got pregnant, your levels changed. So obviously I had to increase my dose again. And mind you, again, with the weight. So let me go back in regards to my weight, I was 88 freaking pounds. I might pop in pictures up here, but I feel like I might get flagged because it looks like I had anorexia. And a lot of people literally thought I had an eating disorder. They will look at me and then automatically, this is exactly why I hated going to the doctors. Exactly why I felt gaslit by everyone, because of my weight. I was too thin. They were always telling me, are you eating? One doctor, when I was underage, I think 16, I don't remember, 15, once told my mother, oh, you sure she doesn't go to the bathroom? Does her breath smell? Do you feel like you hear her vomit? And literally I was sitting there on the exam table and hearing her ask that to my mom. And I was just like, I felt like I was getting slapped in the face. I've had millions of people tell me this all the time. Like, you're too thin, like blah, blah, blah. Especially with the skinny jean era. Oh my gosh, forget it, y'all. If you guys are thin girls out there, comment down below because you already know us thin girls get so much hate for no freaking reason, and we don't even do that to other people. I've never done that to other people. I don't body shame people that are thin. I don't body shame people that are bigger. I never do that. I love every single person. Maybe it's just me, for the way they are. I always had a hard time finding a doctor that will listen to me. And that is exactly why I'm such an advocate for my own health these days, and for anything, even for motherhood. So my weight started to, I worked so hard when I kept increasing my weight. And I say this joke to my husband all the time. I feel like I got pregnant because I started looking better. I know it's funny, but I told my husband the other day, I was like, you only got me pregnant because, you know, I was starting to look like a snack. Like I literally was. I was building myself up to a weight that was much more healthier and much more bigger than what I ever was. I literally went from 88 pounds to like 90. And then I started gaining more weight to back to my original weight, which was 110 pounds. Then I started gaining weight to 120. And I remember posting on my Snapchat that I was 120 pounds. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 120. I'm 20 pounds more than when I was in high school. And by then I had to be like 23. You know, and I started, you know, gaining weight. I started working out. I started building muscle. I loved that phase for me. I was so happy during that time. So happy, you guys. Then I got pregnant because, you know, my husband thought I was a snack, and he impregnated me. He gave me a baby alien. So regardless, needless to say, I love my son. And after having my son now, currently, I did feel like after postpartum, I had my son, I changed my medication another 2 times, I want to say, after having him, which is fair. Again, and it was because I was advocating for myself, because I started feeling symptoms. Like sometimes when I feel the tingling sensation in my arms, that's how I know that I need to increase it, or when I feel extremely tired. Even now, after having my son, I remember looking at myself in the mirror, and for anybody else, it would have been a dream. But I remember my stomach disappeared and I went really skinny, and I felt really, really scared. And I was like, I don't want to lose weight. A part of me wanted to go, like, I didn't want to get skinny again. Like, I didn't want to be skinny. It's such a trauma experience for a thinner woman to gain muscle and gain weight and muscle mass, and then have to return to not gaining muscle mass and looking to what their normal genetics is, right? And I don't know. To me, it was really a trigger, and I was scared, so I didn't watch what I ate. I enjoyed food, and also because I'm a mom, and motherhood doesn't give you time to cook, okay? And you know, I was working at the time when I had my son. I went back to work after 8 weeks, and I don't know, I wasn't watching myself. So then I started gaining weight, and to me, I was like, oh, okay, like I'm getting my weight back, like I'm not gonna look really skinny, I'm not gonna fit in a size 2, right? I wanted to ideally fit in a size 4, and I felt like I was gonna go back to size 2. And mind you, I was a size 0 when I got first diagnosed with hypothyroidism. Then I went to a 0, then I went to a 1, then I went to a 2. And then I started going back to a 4. And after that, I started getting a little bit higher. After I had my son, I was like, ooh, we gotta slow it down. Like, I gotta be more careful. I also have cholesterol problems that I inherited from my father. And I was like, Johanna, like, you have to sit down and you have to take care of yourself for your son's sake. Like, let's try to reel it back in. Let's try to eat healthy. Let's try to work out, which is me now. I work out 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I've been able to sustain my weight, and I have been able to eat a little bit healthier. But I feel also like I'm changing physically. Just feel like, in a sense, I can't keep that weight off. So I finally feel like my thyroid, because I have hypo, not hyper. I know a lot of people confuse those two, and I know it's confusing. My story is confusing because I lost a lot of weight because of my depression, but a lot of people thought I had hyper, but I have hypo. But now currently, I feel like it's catching up to me, and I feel like now I'm starting to think and reconsider if I should change or up my medication, because I do feel like perhaps I do need that to help me maintain a healthy weight. But needless to say, I am much more happier. I have no fluctuation in my moods other than when I am about to menstruate, which is typical. But I'm just so happy. I'm happy that I advocated for myself, and I hope that you guys hear today's story and can advocate for yourselves regardless of who's standing in front of you. If it's a doctor, if it's your family members, if it's a significant other, who cares? You know your body best because you know what you're feeling. And it is an invisible disease. People walk around with invisible illnesses. Just because I have the word hypothyroidism slapped on me, even though I'm medicated, that doesn't mean I don't have symptoms, okay? And that's what I try to tell myself. Don't gaslight yourself. Don't tell yourself that you're exaggerating. Listen to your body. But I actually really enjoyed today's eyeshadow look. I know my eyebrows, they're a little bit thicker than what I usually do because I did fluff them out a little bit with the soap. I'm running out of my eyebrow pencil and I tried to fill in the gaps, but because today in Georgia, it was almost like freaking 80 degrees out, I was hot and I went out for lunch with my friend and with the kiddos, and of course I'm gonna be sweating because I have a toddler. But I feel like that's the only downfall to using the soap. I meant to say that in my previous videos. That's the only downfall, using soap to brush out or fluff out your eyebrows. Take in mind that if you're out in the hot summer and you do sweat, it is kind of gonna counteract, okay? It's gonna wash itself off because your sweat acts like water and then your eyebrows are there. So then it's gonna like basically come off. So I do want to let you guys know, as far as this, I give it a double thumbs up. I think it's beautiful. I do like the formula. I do feel like the shimmer shades could be a little bit better, but again, it could just be that it's like the first little seal on the pan and that's why I needed to break through it, and maybe perhaps it's better with your fingers. And if it is, it is. I don't really fuss too much about that. Definitely recommend you doing this eyeshadow before you do your face makeup, before you do your foundation, because it is a little bit of a fallout, especially with the shimmer shades. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope this video helps anyone out there that may be advocating for themselves and may need a little boost in their mental health. But I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.